So Christianity is an ideology. Understand? So now Matthias Ezeaku have passion. What Matthias Ezeaku now need is Bezimako. So we now sit in a close room and discuss. So that place that is doing Omena Nabote Zokunando, I just see it as a sensitization center. Sensitization center, I mean, is where you bring people to talk to them about this awakening. But a venue. But now, when you now begin to put it in activities of Ikuputenwa, and all other things, it will now start contradicting the same thing we are. And in fact, in my culture, when we begin to practice culture, there will never be any skin where a woman and a man is brought together to in anything in terms of worship. In Africa, we practice gender segregation. Men go with men, women go with women. A place where you come and bring men, you bring women one side, and you are teaching them the same thing. There is no human being on earth who advises a CEO and his worker the same place. Like you have workers here. Someone want to give you advice. You will not keep your worker here and the advice is not done. So in our culture, we practice wood for the things of wood, gold for the things of gold, and iron for the things of iron. So what we do is that gender separate, because the place where Matthias Ezeaku now starts, the people now start seeing Matthias Ezeaku as the boss, as their Lord. What we will now do is that the same thing that is done in church, where women take the loyalty that belongs to the husband and give to the Reverend Father, they will now start seeing him as the loyalty of a worker cannot be shared between two men. Once a woman sees another man more authoritative than his husband, understand, the woman can never submit under the husband. So that place is where women go, and then they are listening to the voice of another man as a leader. It's very wrong. The only leader a woman should have is her husband. So women will teach women in African Renaissance in their separate place, and then men will plan men. Because when it actually transcends beyond what we are not cracking joke. What we are doing is reviving of the lost pathways that once was. When we want to plan something discreet, a woman is not allowed to be there, because a woman is a less logical human being, and a man is expected to be logical and take the leadership. So when we need to make when we want to make that decision, the first thing we do is we bring people under control. We bring women under control, and to bring women under control, we separate women from men. Just understand Omena Nabote Zokunando as a place where we sensitize people. That's just what it is. Not a place we practice our culture. Okay. Thank you so much. How many have I given now?
I held you on the 13th. I held you. Okay. You know, there's something you said about hospital and then praying. Because this is a conversation. We were about that and you know, it took me back to where I lost my mother, General Hospital Onitsha. And then where my wife has given birth 2 times now through cesarean operation. Okay. My wife, one of the best hospitals we have in Anambra. I will not do advert for them because they took money from me when she gave the birth. Yes. But this place now, normal hospitals, when I come there, you know, isi ogu, you know, show you that you are in the hospital. Yes. But this place, you can never even perceive one smell of drug. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I was present where they operated my wife. I was present there. After the operating my wife, they have to take my wife to another room called recovery room, where they placed machine on her organs. Yes. Nobody was there praying. Yes. Nobody was there babashing.
Thank you so much.
Nobody was there kabashing. I asked them, because abi akuye mwam njebe na ICU ebe mwam no. Say, where's my wife? They say, your wife is in the recovery room. Go and see her. I went there. I saw a machine on her. The machine was reading. They were monitoring her organs. Monitoring where this is the second time. Second journey. You get? And nobody was there. Nobody was upon that hospital is owned by core Christians. Among Modipa Life Congregation of God. They understand these things.
Thank you so much.
But look at a general hospital in Onitsha where I lost my mother. My mother was dying. There was no place to put her on life support. And some of my relatives were there praying. Okay? And then look at what they do there. They want to then why na nwa doctor need the ogo edero gi the ogo sigi je go tia na ogbo ogo why na nwa so imagine the time animal life is about time. What are gonna? Life is about time. So imagine the time we say you don't go from the hospital. You went back again. You get look at because I know that because that time I was still a struggling young man. That time my mother would be on life support. And one day I'm in a coma for years. Diego, they will until the person will be brought back to life. So that point that you made is actually very, very cogent.
And it's taking our life. Like
it is actually.
But in my village,
it is actually.
When my village, almost a new hospital they there. One day Namo, a brother to my father came back December doing very well. Tell man, this guy came back. Just like this elderly man of age 50 something. They just says, let us do Egundo Kenya. Egundo Kenya. BP won't rise that the man that go on a field though. But no hospital they Uboka. Before they carry this man from Uboka go Gbam. The man don't die. What would Christian come to do if not to tell that God have taken him or Satan or evil doers have killed him? So what we are clamoring for is a restoration of life. So you are speaking about this hospital now. The question is this beautiful hospital that give this attention to your beautiful wife, is it available to somebody in Ibariam? Is this hospital available to somebody's village in Oboka? Is it available to somebody's village in Apugo? Is it available to somebody's village in Nanka? Is
not just available, yes, affordable too.
Affordable too. Now, if it is available, the question if it is not available, the question becomes what then is the replacement? Because anytime something is not available, there must be a vacuum. Do you know the replacement? Quotations of if a Christian woman become pregnant, the first thing she does that she goes to take quotation Bible prescription from the pastor. Then we give her the one she will read in the morning, the one she will read before she eats, and the one she will read before she sleep, because the child she's carrying is a mighty child. And people are like, the person that born Tinubu obo mighty child because onye mo logo na ebo hotan no one kuku want akiri ibu no gbo ka mighty child anati people na for.
But you will not take away the fact that some Christians understand this thing, because this hospital that I told you now is owned by core Christians.
Now some Christians
understand this very thing, so you will not make mockery of the entire Christianity.
I make mockery of the entire Christianity because the entire Christianity is evil. Imata here be evil. Evil buni ya na egbu anyi. Evil buni ya the dangerous. Evil buni ya the genus. Evil buni ya.
But they are the ones that put this hospital that helped my wife.
No,
in place.
Christianity didn't put any hospital in place. The people who put the hospital in place is the white people who came here and put hospital, not
but
Christianity.
Christians went to employ that thing to help me. Because I did not go to that hospital for them to pray for my wife. I went there and them buy that machinery put for there to help my wife. Balance these things.
Am I even a Christian in your hospital now? This thing again. But like in Agente, even in Enugu State now, only an Annunciation Hospital.
Okay.
Owned, I'm sorry for mentioning name. I just gave an instance. Owned by Catholic people. Now Catholic law the place. One name if an Annunciation Hospital in Enugu announce money. Imagine that be announce money. Na be that place, e do begin na bed say take your girl. My brother punye gi bail. I say gi jail announce again.
Please go ahead with your 14 points and your 15 points.
Okay, we have just number 14 now.
No, 14, 15, 16.
Okay. 14. Point number 15. Christianity. 14.
Yes.
Christianity promotes wealth without process. Somebody came to testify that he got a job that he never participated in the interview. Somebody came to testify that he made millions, not by his strength or by his hard work, but because his grace has been made available to me. A young man you know in your street who did not even have a reasonable work he's doing. And somebody's at the back shouting, I tap, I connect. Somebody is telling you to lift up your hands, that God is going to make you rich. In fact, any teaching on earth which teaches people to pray to be successful is demonic. And Apostle Joshua said, man, does it. Like, you know, when I began this thing, you wanted me to narrow it to a particular person.
Yes.
And I says, I will not narrow it to a particular person because there is no particular pastor who is exempted. All of them, they must be removed. They must be stopped in Africa. Otherwise, our society will be insane. When you promote wealth without process, you have destroyed the people. Because what makes up when you are growing up in the days of your grandfather, you left the city after 6 months. Your father will come and say, my son, sit down. How do you get this money? So we are interested about the process, not just the result. But we live in a society today where your son just buy a car and come back. The man says, Chineke, on your label, it's surprising, with many blessings. All of a sudden, they block the corpse of the young man and says they have shot him. The woman cries and says, the question is, the moment we begin to celebrate wealth without process, and teachings of miracle. Somebody says that somebody have a fractured bone and he touched it and the fractured bone stretched. Is he not mad? Because we know that miracle is against Owangbede. Do you know what is Owangbede? Owangbede means we work in the afternoon and we eat in the night. So if you are teaching miracle, it means there was somebody who is going to not participate in the work in the afternoon, but when we came in the evening to eat, the person will come and eat. He's cheating nature now. Understand? We all went to plant yam. Nobody, this idiot didn't plant yam. But when we come in the evening to come and spend and enjoy, the idiot comes around. Miracle is against Owangbede. In fact, do you know if you have to be employed today by a China or a Japanese company, they are going to take the first 6 months as a Nigeria to train you not to bypass process. Because they know you came from a place where you are taught about results without process. You want the shortcut. When we are doing mathematics in our secondary school, there was a math we did in 200 level called Math 201. My brother, this math is it's something that you need to be very, very intelligent to do. That math, I discovered 70% of the way we solved that math was through shortcuts. I'm giving you honest assessment because it is OBJ. And you now discover we are obsessed about getting A in this mathematics, not contextually understanding the pathway to this A. Because the mathematics was put there not for the result, but to equip us into the result, into the process. So if a white man employed an African man, the first thing he does is, please, young man, don't bypass process in this share company. Young man, please, don't bypass process in this exploration company. You will kill us. Because we come from a people who are taught Christianity and taught grace. What is grace? They now say grace is an unmerited favor. When a man who celebrates something that is unmerited is a criminal. Somebody that works for you here that you pay 250,000. You want to pay the person 250,000 and you make mistake and add extra zero in the front, 2.5 million naira. Alert, enter. The man shouts, hey! Power, the grace of God is sufficient. What comes in his mind is the last place where he went to crusade. And he will pay tithe. And then you are now calling the young man and says, Nuna, I made mistake. Oh. We ain't talking about 250,000. Or say that because the grace of the Lord. That when it comes upon us, that we are them that don't know what God is doing for us. That God is, have a mistake. Or say, no, this is the grace of God. That God have already told him that not his neighbor nepo fire he building work benye. His neighbor nepo fire he building work benye only only. Makana only neighbor nepo fire beba nepo fire. So until we destroy that people that teach us result without process. Africans, we keep on celebrating criminals. Christianity have terribly destroyed Igbos. We don't know how to talk. We have lost control of our women. We have lost control of our children. We now celebrate title over value. We now celebrate money over value. Because you see somebody today who just comes, he says he's a professor. Let me not even talk about professor. He says he's a rich young man. He has millions to spend. But now there is a young old man in that village who is doing blacksmith. Almost everybody that have cutlass in that village, that's blacksmith man. They bought that cutlass from that blacksmith man. And then the young man came with money and entered the community. They entered into 2 occasions. You will now see that we tell the blacksmith man, Biko, Ghana azo, Odogwa Batago, Imana Kwa Lampo, Geneki Imana Kwa Lampo na law. We celebrate results. without process. So the man who is a blacksmith man, who have done his whole work in producing all the cutlass that everybody use in this village, we go to back. A man a lampo with money. We come and lampo in front seat.
Ọ bụrụ na ị chọrọ igwe anaghị ajụ gị arụ oyi, nwanne jebe na Pine Leaf Estate and Properties Limited.